ere you left your room this morning, or when sore trials came upon you, when your heart was filled with anger, when your soul was filled with sorrow, did you think to pray? Good question from a beloved old Christian hymn, beloved by Christians everywhere, including members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This is, of course, just a little sample of places that you might want to pray, that it would be a good idea. Others come to mind, like in foxholes when you're dodging bullets, where, according as we're told, there are no atheists in there. All kinds of good times to pray. As a matter of fact, most churches, including our church, advises us to keep a prayer in our hearts always. Why to do that? Well, I remember a witty person a while back who said that there are two kinds of people in the world. People who believe there are two kinds of people and those who don't believe there are two kinds of people. Well, that's too much Zen for my circuits to handle, but you get the idea. In like manner, I think there are at least two good reasons to pray. One is to get us out of pickles we get ourselves into, and the second is, at least as valuable, to keep us from getting into the pickles in the first place. I think Jesus refers to this when he talks about in his famous prayer, when he talks about, lead us not into temptation. Better translation is, let us not be led into transgression. And the second is, deliver us from evil. I was delivered from evil one time in the shortest, loudest prayer I have ever given. Situation, I was driving a truck late at night in the western part of Utah, headed for California, wintertime, dark and cold, and suddenly the truck hit black ice. Instantly, I was not in control. I had the steering wheel. That meant nothing. We were going southwest or west or northwest or combinations depending on whatever those ice skating wheels wanted to do. And Dick and Dennis, my two singing buddies in the 3Ds, they were in the back in the camper, which is hooked onto the truck. They were either asleep or climbing the walls. I don't know which. Didn't have time to find out. Didn't have time for formalities, so I just screamed. I hollered my prayer to the heavens, help me! And the Lord, listening as he always does, helped me faster than I prayed. The truck straightened out. Just before we came to the edge of the black ice, it was going straight down the highway. We hit the hard pavement and we took off. Wow. We took off more slowly because I slowed down. And the steering wheel wobbled a little from those white knuckles holding on to it. But we continued on safely. Prayer answered. The deliver us from evil part, tell you a story about three of our sons. Got this story at our recent family conference. We took time there and I said, okay, statute of limitations is over. Go ahead and tell us whatever you want to about how you grew up, your adventures. No punishment will be issued at this point. And so they did. Here's one of my favorites. Two of the younger boys, we were out of town, Sharon, my wife and I. Two of the younger boys decided that the car really needed to be driven while we were gone. So they took it upon themselves to perform that function for the family. But they were so small, nobody would ever believe that they had a license, so they recruited their older brother, who also did not have a license, but he was old enough to look like he was tall enough. I don't know if he looked old enough, but they took a chance. So the three of them piled in the car, pulled out of the carport, and then their older brother suddenly had an epiphany. He thought of this potential catastrophe they were bringing and thought they needed help. Well, fortunately, he knew where to go for help. He said to his younger brothers, we need to have a prayer. And they said, a prayer? Hey, we're rebels, for crying out loud. You don't pray about a thing like this. But he convinced them, and they prayed. And then he put it into gear, and they slowly drove back into the carport. End of story. Successful. Two successful stories. So, as the song says, when life gets dark and dreary, or as it does not say, when life gets too dangerous and exciting, Don't forget to pray.